situation that looks like you cold-bloodedly murdered somebody and then tried to escape the scene. When in actuality, maybe there was a domestic fight going on and you were protecting yourself. That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of here. And right now you're giving me this clouded bullshit because you're worried. But this ain't gonna work. And that's what I'm telling you. Well, there's too many other people. No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm upset. Because he said.
You were relentless. You stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed until he was dead. You didn't think he was an intruder. You know, maybe one stab wound. Okay, maybe that's 7 defense. But you put in 11 more to make sure he was good and dead.
Yeah, so welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, if you never see my videos, I just started my channel not long ago. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. Do me a favor, like the video if you're interested in the content, at least, you know what I mean? Give me some pointers, comment on the video, let me know things that I could do, things that, maybe would help improve my channel. Let me know your opinion, you know what I mean? Be a little bit, say the thing that's on your chest, whether it's good, whether it's bad, just say it. I don't have any restrictions on my comments. So yeah, anyways, let's just jump right into it. Like I said, if you could leave, if you could subscribe to the channel, I'm going to be trying to upload like every day, Tuesday through to, Saturday. I'm going to be trying to upload every day. So yeah, anyways, let's just jump into it.
This is 31-year-old Camilla Gamut, losing her mind just 3 hours after committing a brutal crime.
We have a situation that looks like you cold-bloodedly murdered somebody.
And now she can do nothing but sit back and watch as her life falls apart.
The honesty is probably the most important thing for you and going forward with your life.
What do you mean going forward with my life? You just told me I'm going to jail anyway, right?
I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well.
Whoa.
Living in their Jackson, Michigan apartment, 31-year-old Camilla.
I'm already pausing, I'm sorry, but judges, they have, it's very strict for them, you know what I mean? They have a lot of rules to cover. They have someone's life in the palm of their hands, you know what I mean? There's a lot of restrictions, there's a lot of rules, there's a lot of regulations they need to follow, especially if a judge has been doing the job for years. If a judge tells you like certain things, like,
Gamut and 38-year-old Marcel Hill were a mismatched
couple. Don't take that lightly.
Marcel was a high school graduate and fast food worker, but life had dealt him a rough hand. He suffered from scoliosis and meningitis, had physical abnormalities, and was cognitively impaired because of fetal alcohol syndrome. These conditions were so debilitating that even managing basic tasks like paying bills was a monumental challenge. On the other hand, Camilla had issues too, but of a completely different nature. She lived in 13 different foster homes, had a history of domestic violence, and was known to abuse substances frequently. Although it seems she found peace with Marcel during their relationship, it was for reasons far more sinister. In August of 2012, Camilla became Marcel's chore provider. In return, she received a portion of his SSI benefits, estimated between $1,000 and $3,000, and gained partial control over his finances. Over time, however, the relationship very quickly deteriorated as the two frequently got into physical altercations. By the end of 2013, Marcel was at his wit's end and wanted more control over his finances. But this is when everything began to go wrong. On March 3, 2013, Marcel reported to a hospital with a collapsed lung and sutures to his chest. 5 days later, on March 8th, Camilla hit him in the back of the head with a hammer. At the time, Marcel survived and decided not to press charges, despite warnings from his loved ones. This would prove to be a grave mistake. 2 months later, at 3 a.m. on May 18th, several 911 calls were made from the same number to report a man bleeding in an apartment in Lansing Avenue. When officers arrived, they discovered a horrific scene. The apartment was completely ransacked, and on a deflated mattress lay Marcel Hill, bludgeoned and stabbed to death. But where was the 911 caller? To find them, dispatchers pinged the phone the call was made from, and officers soon discovered Camilla covered in blood right outside the apartment. She was immediately brought in for questioning, though detectives had no idea just how unhinged she truly was. The following footage has been provided to us by the Jackson Police Department.
Oh my god. Nick, come on now.
After realizing that breaking out of handcuffs in a secure police station interview room is futile, Camilla does what any normal human accused of homicide would in this situation: nap for the next several hours until a detective walks in.
Camilla? Hi, my name's Harry Shooty. I'm a detective here at the police department. You mind shutting up for me for a minute?
Well, get on leave. I want to go home and sleep.
Okay. Where do you live at?
On the block.
Wow.
What's that?
Not far.
Not far? You don't know your address?
Over Mason.
Mason Street?
Yes.
Okay. I need to talk to you a little bit.
Yeah.
Right now you're in the police department and everything,
I know.
so you know that, right? And I think I dropped my pen. Hold on just 2 seconds. Okay? Slipped out here.
Maybe because your blood is running cold, girl. It's
Okay,
cold in
so-
here.
Kinda.
Kinda?
Am I gonna be able to leave after this?
No.
Well, I don't know.
Why?
I'll be honest with you. Because it's a pretty serious incident here.
They told me they just needed to talk to me. That's it, though.
You're right. We just do need to talk to you. You know, I don't understand. I want to understand exactly what's going on here.
Okay.
Okay? Do you spell your name with a C?
CMA.
C-A-M-I-A. What's your name?
Tiffany.
Tiffany's your middle? How do you spell that?
G-I-F-F-A-Y.
And how do you spell your last name?
G-A-M-E-T.
G-A-M-E-T. How far have you gone through school?
10.
What was the last school you went to?
Herbert Hoover.
What's it called?
Herbert Hoover.
Where's that at?
Iowa.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
You reading right?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs today?
No.
That's concerning.
Any prescription drugs or anything like that?
It would make more sense if you was
Okay.
high off drugs, shorty.
What about alcohol?
Yeah, I had some alcohol already.
How much have you had?
A couple beers at the bar.
What bar did you go to?
Jack's.
Where's that at?
Over by Manhattan's.
Okay. When's the last time you drank, do you think?
What time is it now?
It's about 6 in the morning. Something like that. 6 in.
Maybe now 12. I don't know. It's that.
You feel like you're drunk right now?
No. Just cold. And tired.
You feel like a murderer?
You tired?
Yes, still when I got sleep.
Are you too tired to talk to me right now?
No, I'd like to talk to you so I could leave.
Okay. I have to read you your rights. Okay? Have you ever had your rights read to you before?
It depends. Just go ahead.
I'm sorry, you have or no?
I don't know. It depends on what
Oh, you don't know what?
I'm all right, sleep.
Okay.
Jesus.
Before you answer questions,
Hey,
make a
this
statement
is
before you
one of the
answer.
nicest, like out of a lot of the detectives that this guy is. I mean, hey. First of all, this guy does not need to be nice to you because you cold-heartedly killed somebody. Like, who do you think you are? I always come back to this. I always come back to this when I watch these investigations. Why do you feel like your life is more valuable than the life that you took? Because it's, and here goes with her specifically. She just wants to go home to bed. A lot of these, they want to go home. They don't feel like it's right for them to go to jail, or they can accept that. It's like, in my opinion, blood for blood. In my opinion, like, I don't know. I mean, and then I bite my tongue because I don't believe in war, but I also don't believe, like, you should take someone's life cold-heartedly, especially if it's for no reason, and you should be able to still walk free, or you should even be able to still breathe. Like, your life should be taken from you too. Like, who are you?
Your rights. 1, you have a right to remain silent. 2, anything you say will be used against you in a court of law. 3, you have a right to consult with a lawyer before you answer questions or make a statement, and to have him present during questioning while making a statement. If you cannot afford a lawyer, won't be appointed for you before questioning or any time during questioning if you so desire. If you answer questions or make a statement without consulting a lawyer, having a lawyer present, you still have the absolute right to stop at any time you wish, answer no further questions, or make no further statement. Or you may at any time you wish stop answering questions or making a statement to consult a lawyer, have a lawyer present during questioning. These are your rights, and what they say pretty much here is, like, on number 1, you don't have to speak with me if you don't want to. If you say something, it can be used against you in court. If you want a lawyer, you can have one at any point. If you can't afford one, they'll give you one and it won't cost you anything, so that doesn't have to be anything that you need to worry about, okay? And if at any point you want to stop, you can stop, and that can't be used against you. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, so if that's the case, then I don't have to talk to you and I can have a lawyer, where can I go?
Well, at this point, we're investigating a homicide, okay?
You are investigating a homicide.
A homicide. Okay?
So she's playing.
So at this point, we're looking at this, and we're trying
playing innocent
to figure out exactly
There's
what happened.
somebody is dead.
Somebody is dead.
And who is dead?
Marcel. Okay, does that make sense to you?
That's not a good reaction from you, Shorty.
Marcel is dead.
Yes. Does that make sense to you that I said what I said, that Marcel was dead?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay.
If the lights are on but nobody's home was a person, it would be Camilla. Even though she has been dating Marcel for a year very publicly, she thinks she can get away with pretending not to know him. In part, however, this knee-jerk reaction could be because of the state she's in. When officers initially found her, she was inebriated and very clearly drunk. But exactly how drunk she is something that a breathalyzer test can answer.
Yeah,
what I would like you to do is take a preliminary breath test for me. Would you be willing to do that?
Yeah.
See where your alcohol level is?
Yeah.
Okay.
That should be the first thing, to be honest. Like, if you know drug tests, like, before you even answer get the questions going. You feel like you do drug tests, you do a breathalyzer, you do a drug test, so you know that they're acting like their alcohol level is this level when it's really this level. So yes, they're still intoxicated, but they're completely capable of remembering or being able to sit and answer these questions when they're acting like they can't. You know what I mean? Or they're really intoxicated and they're high on drugs. Maybe answer some questions, but it makes more. It's easier to understand their answers and their behaviors, and you know what I mean, because they could be faking it, they could be acting some type of way, when it's like, if you're nearly sober, why are you acting like this? Because they can easily say, okay, she's putting up a facade. You know what I mean?
Okay. Take a deep breath and blow in there as hard as you can. One more time. Thank you.
I'm freaking dead, bro. I don't know. This shorty is ridiculous. You see how she back away from it?
Okay.
If you tell her one more time, she might punch you, bro. She might punch you. She might do something.
0.18.
I don't.
So you drink more than a couple of beers, huh?
No, I didn't.
No?
With a pitcher of beer, I had a couple glasses.
Did you drink any other drinks?
No.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't know. Like 0.18. Like I don't know what that means. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know because I don't drink. It's been years since I drank, so like I'm not a drinker. I'm more of a smoker. I don't know why I whisper, but I'm more of a smoker. I've always been a smoker over a drinker, so I don't know much about these breathalyzers. I've never taken one. So I'm assuming by his reaction then that's pretty high. Like,
You feel alright to talk with me?
Yeah, what are you going to talk about?
Okay. Let me go through this real quick, alright?
Mm-hmm.
This just says that the above statement of my rights has been read and explained to me. I've had an opportunity to ask questions concerning my rights, and I now fully understand what my rights are. I wish to answer questions or to make a statement without consulting with a lawyer, have a lawyer present during questioning. Waive my rights to remain silent in the presence of a lawyer at this time. I wish to take no promises or threats that have been made to me, against me, or any others. Okay, so your signature there.
What am I signing for?
This says that I've read your rights to you, and that I haven't promised you anything. Okay. Can you date it too, please? Date 5/18/13. Thank you.
Despite her boyfriend having been brutally murdered just hours ago, Camilla is completely zoned out, unaware that
she's probably in the mix of a hangover, probably. So she probably has. To me, she's giving headache. Like she has a headache and she just want to sleep. And I like personally, I get that on a personal level. But to me, it's weird how she's saying, no, I want to talk to you. I know she's saying, I want to talk to you so I can leave. But if she was really feeling, to me, like the way she's acting is like she's not feeling well. Like she has a headache or something, right? But so if I was like that, I'd be like, honestly, like I got this huge, can I get something for my headache? Can I get some Advil? Can I get some Tylenol? Can I get something for my headache? And once this, because me, I cannot, when I have a headache, when I have a migraine, I cannot do nothing. I just want to sit in a dark room and sleep. So if you can give me some, shit. Give me some food, give me some medication, then I can talk. But for her to be acting like this and she's also saying that she's willing to talk, it's kind of like weird to me.
Might even be a suspect. However, that is about to change very soon.
What I wanted to talk to you about was the last time you saw Marcel.
I was at a friend's house, okay?
Uh-huh.
She wanted to go over and see Marcel.
Okay.
I thought you didn't know Marcel.
When we got over there, it was dark. The door was open. I went in there. We went in there. Marcel was laying there. There was a lot of blood. She called the ambulance. Then she panicked. And she left. Then I tried to wake Marcel up. He wasn't responding. I panicked. And I left. That's it.
I'm gonna be honest. That is possible. See, when I watch these investigations and things, I go into them, but not biased at all. Like, just I want to know, just like these investigators, you know, I want to know. Even me personally, even to the end of the video, because sometimes at the end of the video, that's when they they dropped like their hardcore evidence, and then it's like, okay, everything is put together. But I'm gonna sit with her and say, okay, that could be, who's saying, unless they have proof, which if they have proof they will speak on it, that could be possible. They could have went over, he already had been, murdered. It is 100% possible, given the information that personally I have. Just in this case, I haven't done some research. I don't know anything about this case, about this story, you know what I mean?
Okay. Well, what time did you get there?
I don't know. I didn't look at the clock.
That's
Was it
real.
before the police got there? Just before?
It was before she called them, yes.
Okay. Who is your friend?
Her name was Ashley. That's all I know.
Ashley?
Yes, it's Ashley.
What, do you know what her last name is?
No.
Is she a white girl, a black girl?
She's mixed.
Mixed white, black?
White.
How old is she?
She's about 25.
25? Can you describe her to me?
She's about 135 pounds, light skin. I can really describe me as about 5'3". Short blonde hair right here.
See, it's confusing me because she's acting like she's out of it, but she's very quick to answer the questions. She has the answers right there already. So she's not out of it, but she's kind of acting like she's out of it. It's kind of weird. That's why I'm thinking like maybe she has a headache. So this is why she's doing this, because there's pressure here, but I feel like she would have said something. All she said is she's tired. I know myself. If I have a headache and I'm tired, the first thing out of my mouth is going to say I have a headache. Like, I have a headache. Headache is higher than being tired because majority of my life, you're tired. Like, you know what I mean? But I don't often have headaches. So when I have a headache, I express that pretty clearly because it affects me a lot. You know what I mean?
Right here, right here. About right here.
Okay.
Ashley sounds like a pretty convincing character until you realize that's all it is, a character, as Ashley doesn't exist at all.
What?
When Camilla attacked Marcel with a hammer, Marcel ran off to his cousin's house. While he was there, he stated that Ashley was an alias Camilla often used to call 911 after starting false arguments. Arguments that she would leverage to assault Marcel.
This girl's crazy.
In a similar instance, Camilla stabbed Marcel in the chest with a knife and then stitched up his wounds herself. This incident was never reported to authorities. Even with such a well-documented history of abuse, this is...
I'm sorry, I need a moment to process. She stabbed him in the chest and then stitched up the wound by herself and nobody found out? God bless his soul, man. God bless his soul, man. Wow. I can't even process. I can process that, but that's hard.
Is only the beginning of Camilla's terrible, terrible lies.
When was the last time you saw Marcel?
When we went over there.
And at the beginning, she didn't know who Marcel was. At the beginning. You remember that, y'all? I don't know him.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Before then, when was the last time you saw him?
Earlier today. I don't remember what time.
Okay. Ashley called the ambulance, not you?
Yes. I don't have a phone.
Okay.
Did they say this is 2013? That's what the dates are?
Is he a boyfriend of yours?
No.
Has he been a boyfriend of yours?
No, not exactly.
Can you explain to me what your relationship with him has been?
Just casual friends.
You have a sexual relationship?
We had before.
When's the last time you had a sexual relationship with him?
About 3 months ago.
3 minutes ago?
Does Ashley have a sexual relationship with him?
Never.
Not that you know of?
No.
How long have you known Marcel?
10 years.
What do you mean that?
Downtown when he used to live at the Adams Motel.
Okay. What's your address right now?
I'm kind of here and there.
Okay. Do you live there with Marcel?
No.
Your name's on the mailbox.
Okay.
Do you get mail there?
That name just got put
I
on the
mean,
mailbox,
if she can lie about a whole ass character, she lied at the beginning. I don't even know this man, and then just continue to talk about him normally. Like I wouldn't believe almost anything that comes out of her mouth, to be honest with you.
yesterday. Or something.
Who put it on there?
Marcel did.
Why'd you do that?
To get a piece of mail.
From your mail?
Yeah, because I'm moving between places. I didn't have an address.
Okay.
She's miserable. Wow.
How did you get all the blood all over you?
I was trying to wake him up. And there was glass.
Why
I
this?
stepped in glass.
Why this? Why all of a sudden the whole time you're doing this, now all of a sudden you scratching your head? Why? That's some serious shit right there. That. I don't know if he caught that.
Glass, I stepped in glass. I don't know.
Did you have an argument with him tonight at all?
No.
Nothing like that?
Yeah.
I know that you've been in some arguments with him in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you guys have had a kind of a difficult relationship.
Well, we haven't had a relationship exactly, but yes, sometimes in the past we have. Okay.
It looks like, judging from some of the stuff that maybe he's been to you. Is that true?
Yes, sometimes, yeah.
Was he to you tonight?
No.
It is tragic to see Camilla put all the blame on Marcel for the issues in their relationship.
Yeah.
According to Marcel's case manager, Lorenz, the only thing he craved in life was normalcy, and his best shot at this was having someone he loved. Even in the face of all the violence he suffered, he still believed and told Lorenz that Camilla loved him. But for Camilla, it was never about love in the first place. Marcel's aunt went on to testify that she practically raised Marcel. For his entire life, he never had trouble with his money. But after he met Camilla, he started to be overdrawn on his bank accounts. She strongly believed that Marcel was being controlled by Camilla. Even besides these statements, detectives have a crucial piece of information that can verify if Marcel really was violent or not.
Some people heard you guys arguing tonight. What was your argument about?
I don't know about the argument, sir.
What's that?
I don't know about an argument.
Well, I'm just trying to understand this.
Okay. I don't know about that.
I don't mean to upset you.
No, you're not upsetting me. I'm upset that Marcel's dead.
Okay. What upsets you about that?
I've known him for years.
Okay.
Can you tell me what he died from?
Well, it looks like somebody killed him.
Are you sure that he's dead?
Yeah.
But you don't know exactly what made him die?
Well, right now it looks like somebody beat him up pretty bad.
How do you know he's dead?
I saw him.
You saw him, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You saw him where?
In his apartment.
Okay, well, does he go to the hospital?
He will eventually.
What do you mean he will eventually?
When they move him from there, they will.
So he was already
dead. Yeah. Yeah, he was already dead inside the house. The important thing here, Camille, is for me to understand exactly what happened. One of the things here that I'm looking at, and I'm going to be completely honest with you here, it's really the only way I like to do things. I've gone through a little bit of yours and Marcel's history here, and Ashley is a name that you've used in the past to call in complaints on Marcel.
No, that was an accusation. I do have a friend named Ashley.
Ashley Jones was the name that I was told.
Can you do me a favor?
What's that?
Can you guys handcuff me and take me to where he is?
I can't do that. Camille, the most important thing at this point is just to do some damage control here and let me know exactly what happened tonight. It sounds like you guys were arguing pretty good. According to the neighbors, they heard you. And they said that an argument was going on pretty good between you and he. And then it stopped.
On the day of the murder and leading up to it, several neighbors were first-hand witnesses to Marcel and Camilla's relationship. Michelle, a neighbor who moved into the area 2 weeks before Marcel's murder, reported that she heard Camilla say to Marcel, "Go ahead and hit me," but never saw Marcel actually strike or assault Camilla. Another individual living across from the couple's home also stated that on the day Marcel was killed, she woke up at 1:30 a.m. to see Camilla throwing dishes at Marcel as he was slouched on the floor.
And then, of course, we've seen you around the corner and you have all his blood on you.
Okay, what are you doing?
I'm trying to understand what happened. I'm just asking you questions.
I told you what happened.
But Camilla, that doesn't make sense.
Okay, well, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I would hope that you'd be honest with me.
I am being honest with you. You're assuming that I'm not. I told you what happened. That's what happened.
Do you understand why I'm assuming that you're not being honest?
Yeah, I watched the first 48. That's what you guys do. You try to use the psychology.
I watched the first 48.
I told you what happened.
This is real life, though, Shorty.
I'm not going to repeat myself. Is this your notes right here?
Mm-hmm.
I said we went over there. It was dark. We went in there. You know what I'm saying? He was non-responsive. She called the ambulance. She panicked and left. I panicked and left. That was it.
Did you run away from the police?
No, I did not run away from the police. I just...
Did you throw your cell phone?
I don't... No, I don't have a cell phone.
You had a cell phone tucked up underneath your bra.
Yeah, it goes to my old cell phone.
That we found in the backyard that the 911 call was made on. That's why I'm asking you these questions. I'm not trying to be a wise guy here. Camille, here's what I think. I think that you've had a very difficult relationship with Marcel. I think that there's been a lot of things that have occurred between you and him. And I think ultimately it got to a point tonight where it just exploded. And I don't know if this was something.
How do you know that he's dead? How do you know that he's dead?
Listen, I've been a cop for 22 years.
Just because you see him doesn't mean he's dead.
He's dead. He's not breathing. He has no pulse. He's cold. He's dead.
That was what you said. They didn't try to CPR or nothing.
It won't work. He's dead.
How do you know it won't work? If you saw him, how do you know he was dead? That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, I know dead. He's dead. Okay? I know what dead is, and he's dead. What you gotta think about right now is what happened with you. You gotta start thinking about you. And what's going on with you. Okay?
There we go. Let it out, girl. Shit.
And I need to understand what happened to you tonight. Or what's going on.
I'm not trying to be sympathetic for her, but she's playing this big tough girl. You know what I mean? And I remember, because I mean, I'm gonna get a little bit personal, but I grew up, my parents split when I was young. My mom has always been this very, very strong character, strong-willed. I have people throughout her, her life that have known her come to me and say, your mom is this, that, whatever. She always plays this tough girl. So she, me living with my mom more than my dad would be like, because my mom had custody. But it was co-parenting, right? So like every, 2 weeks I would go to my dad's, Christmas, birthdays. I had that influence of the only woman that I had influence was my mom. So I have in me this strong woman. But I'm 24 years old, and I've come to the conclusion. I remember watching this podcast or whatever, saying it's very easy to be this woman that's like, I don't need a man. I'm the strong, independent woman. It's easy to say that, and it's a decision that you make every day, but that is not what women are supposed to be. Women are supposed to be dependent on a man. Not dependent. Dependent is a strong word. But we're supposed to, first of all, we're supposed to go from living in the house with our parents to marriage. To, personally, this is what I believe, right? I do believe that. I do believe you're supposed to find a man, and that man is supposed to protect you. He's supposed to take care of you. He's supposed to guide you. He's supposed to open a space for you where you don't have to be this tough. And when you're out on the streets, when you're by yourself, absolutely, you got to protect yourself when you're alone. But when you're, it's normal for us women, like, we got to let it go. We can't always have that weight on our backs, because it will destroy us. You know what I'm saying? So it's just her starting to cry is kind of like, okay, so maybe the truth will start to come out. You know what I mean? Because she has this weight, this heavy backpack on her, and because not only is she holding the guilt from what she's done, not even this time with him actually turning dead, but this whole stabbing him and then fixing up his own wounds, like, type shit. Like, she's holding that, but then she's also holding all these lies in the backpack as well. Like, this backpack is holding her like this, you feel me? That's why she's sitting like this. It's so heavy on her, you know what I mean? So maybe this crying, it's at the end of the day, it's like you're acting like the victim when the victim is not even here to tell his story anymore. You know what I mean?
You have a small cut on your hand there. How did that happen?
I don't know.
The cuts the detective refers to here are the injuries that Camilla was covered in after Marcel's murder. When she was arrested, her feet were bleeding from cuts sustained in the apartment, and her extremities were also covered in similar injuries.
Some people heard you talking about him using cocaine tonight. Was he using?
I don't know. I told you, I just got there. I don't know.
Camilla, this story is not going to work for you. This doesn't work. None of this makes sense.
It's the truth. Why did you ask?
I mean, to be honest, like, I'm gonna kind of, I'm not saying she's insane. I'm not saying that, but they haven't given proof that she was even there at that time. Who's to say it wasn't someone else? Do they have proof? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, as of right now, because they haven't shown any evidence that, she was there, or, yeah, there was blood on her, but absolutely, she could have went in and she could have tried to, see if he was, alive, or, I don't know. I don't know what to think. But they have not given evidence. The only evidence they really have is she was covered in blood. She threw her phone. They're saying that this Ashley person is a fake person. They have, evidence that there's been abuse in the relationship. That doesn't mean it comes to this conclusion because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the bar weren't at your house.
Yeah, well, somebody gave me a
People
ride.
at the bar weren't over at Marcel's. Who was the person that gave you a ride?
I don't know. It was a stranger. He asked me if I needed a ride.
A stranger gave you a ride. You're pretty smart.
Did he give just you a ride?
Yes.
How did Ashley end up there?
I walked to Ashley's house.
Where does Ashley live?
I don't know. She just moved. I was just, she was down somewhere down by Lansing Avenue.
See, that doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Okay, look, you're starting to get on my nerves with this psychologist shit, telling me that everything I'm saying to you doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, it doesn't make sense. It's just
Listen, I don't know if you think I got a magic wand or what. I'm not a psychologist.
I mean, you keep
telling
saying
you,
everything
listen,
doesn't make sense.
Here, listen. Let me make perfect sense to you. Okay? Marcel is in there. There's blood everywhere, and he's dead. Okay? You were in there beforehand, and you had an argument with him. Okay? There was no one else there, and he's dead. You ran away from the scene. The cops caught you. You got his blood on you. That's not psychology. Those
So
facts.
Okay, so she ran from the cops. Okay, so that's a huge pointer. Because I thought at the beginning they said that they found him right outside his apartment. That's not running. So I'm getting...
The stuff that you're telling me doesn't add up. And what I'm trying to do is find out why you're telling me this shit when I already know the rest of the stuff. That's what I'm trying to understand. And what I'm worried about here, and I'm not playing psychologist with you, and I've watched too much TV, but what I'm worried about here is that we have a situation that looks like you cold-bloodedly murdered somebody and then tried to escape the scene. When in actuality, maybe there was a domestic fight going on and you were protecting yourself. That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of here. And right now you're giving me this clouded bullshit because you're worried. But this ain't gonna work. And that's what I'm telling you. Well, there's too many other people.
No, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I'm upset because he said.
Well, I would be upset if I were in your shoes too. Because this is very important stuff. And this stuff doesn't go away. And it won't end. That's why I'm asking you for the truth about what happened tonight.
What are my options right now? Are you guys keeping me regardless or what? Can you just tell me that?
Well, Camille, I haven't completely made a decision about that yet. But right now, when I listen to this story, this does not make any sense. No sense at all.
But I don't have a lawyer, so if I talk to you next thing I know, you're going to be hitting me with some serious charge. I want to know if I can leave.
Well, here's the thing, all right? Do you want to tell me what's going on? Or am I wasting my time?
No, what I'm telling you is that I don't have a lawyer here, and I know...
You don't. You don't have a lawyer here.
And I know that things can be used against me. I want to know
Absolutely.
if I can leave. That's what I want to know. They were just going to talk to me and let me leave.
Right now, you cannot leave. No.
What do you think this is? The Hunger Games?
Now, do you want to talk to me?
The only way to survive is to kill people?
What do you want to do?
If I want a lawyer, then what, am I going to jail?
If you want a lawyer, regardless of whether or not you want a lawyer, that doesn't matter. Okay? That's not going to be used against you.
What do you mean?
If you want a lawyer, I'm not going to be vindictive and say you're going to jail. All right? You're going to go to jail either way.
I'm going to jail either way.
Yeah.
Now it's going to start. She's going to start now.
What I want to know is whether or not you want to tell me what really happened.
You can't take me to him.
No.
What, so you can stab him one more time?
Obviously, you're very upset about this. Okay? And I
if I go to jail, I'm not going to be able to see him. I just need to see him, please.
I know you're very upset. I know this is really hard for you. I'm very sorry for that.
It's important to note that not once has Camilla shown even a hint of emotion at Marcel's death. The only reason she is bawling her eyes out is because she's been caught, and not because she lost the love of her life.
Yep.
And this is building up to one of the most extreme meltdowns you will ever see.
Can I have a cigarette? Is it legal to? Can I smoke a cigarette?
At this point, no. We don't have any way we can do that. The important thing here is just for us to understand what's going on. All right? This thing got pretty serious. The most important thing right now, Camille, is for you to be honest with me about what is going on here, about what happened tonight. The honesty is probably the most important thing for you and going forward with your life.
What do you mean going forward with my life? You just told me I'm going to jail anyway, right?
Yep.
I can't go see him.
You can't.
So what do I...
Life doesn't end today, okay? For you, it doesn't end today. So it's important for you to be honest about what's happening.
I want to see him.
Well, I'm sorry, that's just not possible. You can't see him. But what I want to understand is...
Oh my God, I'm never going to see him again. Oh my God.
See your boyfriend?
No. He's just somebody I care about. I'm never going to see him again.
Yeah.
No.
Should have thought about that before. You know what I'm saying? Does it make?
I mean, it's really important at this point to focus about what's... and talk about what happened.
Can I have some Kleenex, please? My nose is about to start running.
Yeah, we'll get some Kleenex. Hold on just a second.
Oh, God.
Here you go, come here. Listen, I know this was a bad situation. Okay? And I know that you and he have had a hard time with one another here recently. Okay?
Don't go loud again, bro.
I know that. I've seen some reports. I've seen some other incidents. Nice shot. All right? I've seen some other things that have happened. Okay? What I think here happened is that you guys had a falling out. Okay? You had a bad time. You thought this is just another domestic situation, just a bad thing, going bad again.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I don't think you intended to kill him at all, Camilla. I don't. But I need to understand.
Is she in handcuffs?
I need you to.
She's gonna strangle you, brother.
About what happened.
The rope she's on is real, like thin and tight, bro. She it's about to snap. Like, I don't know, man. You should have her in handcuffs. She gonna attack you, brother.
All right.
I want a lawyer. I want a lawyer. Wait, just take me to jail. Just take me.
Okay. All right. Just relax. All right. Just sit tight for a minute, okay? We'll be with you here in a second.
I don't know. I don't even believe in the cry. The cry sounds fake to me. I don't know. I can do that too. I can do that too.
Since Camilla has requested an attorney...
You didn't know whether it was me or her right there, right? Because I can do that too.
Detectives are legally bound to cease any and all questioning. Now only one thing remains, Camilla's anger. And if she can't take it out on another human, pieces of furniture will be her next victim.
Oh my God.
Stand up, come here. Hands behind your back.
After being arrested, Camilla continued to lie, even in court. Her defense argued that after the two of them smoked marijuana and cocaine, they went to sleep. During this time, Camilla allegedly felt there was an intruder in the dead of night. In response, she grabbed a lamp, started swinging it, and after feeling like she knocked the attacker down, she just happened to grab a knife and stab him repeatedly. But after realizing that this was Marcel, she panicked and ran away. We'll let the judge explain why exactly that story doesn't work out for her.
And you end up probably in some kind of domestic, ultimately hit him in the head so hard with a pan that you actually cave in the front of his, and then you him no less than 12 times. And you know what? I was the only one in the courtroom that knew what kind of knife that was. And it was a big old long fillet knife. Because I used it to fillet pike and muskie and salmon. And I'll tell you, you gutted him like a fish in that apartment too. You were relentless. You stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed until he was dead. You didn't think he was an intruder. You know, maybe one stab wound. Okay, maybe that's self-defense. But you put in 11 more to make sure he was good and dead. So I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. You know, if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair. You have 42 days to appeal my sentence and think I've legally erred anyway.
On April 16th, 2014, Camilla was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility for parole, along with the not-so-subtle well wishes from the judge.
Good. Hey.
This is 20.
I agree with all that. Hey. It's hard for me to say I support the death penalty because what I support is I don't support crimes. I understand definitely. I've done some things. Okay? You know, when I get angry, when I get pushed a little bit too far, or, you know, when I can't, you know, when I couldn't handle my emotions. Not too many times, but I've had times. Like, I've experienced that in my own life. And overall, I'm a pretty stable person. I'm very quick. When I get angry, when I get frustrated with a situation, I'm very, very quick to walk away. That is who I am. And I've still had moments where I've done something that could have ended badly, but it didn't. Thank God. You know what I'm saying? So I understand how things could have happened, why things could have happened, but I 100% believe that if you murder someone, like, with no, you know, no empathy. There's no emotion there. You know what I mean? And the emotion came out with her at the time that she found out she was going to jail. So you didn't. The emotion wasn't about Marcel. It was about you. I believe in the death penalty at that point. I believe if you take a life and it was not by accident, you know what I'm saying? It was not defense. It was not an accident. It was not, something that, if it was intentional at some point, I do believe in the death penalty. I do. But, so at least, she's getting what, she's getting at the least of, what she deserves. At least, she's not running free. She can't hurt anybody else for the most part. Rest in peace to Marcel. And yeah, another video, another unfortunate series of events or whatever. But yeah, so leave a like, leave a comment what you think about this episode, and what you think about this investigation, what you think about what happened, and leave a like, subscribe if you're into these kinds of videos, and yeah, until next time, peace out.